So it might be a bit boring for some of my original people. Newbies need to be here, and I'm glad that he's come to take some notes and listen anyway. So today's going to be on basic fundamentals, what is PT, and appearance. And it relates into any kind of fitness industry job or role that you could do as well. We've got dance, Pilates, instructing. So once you have passed your examination for the first time, you've passed your quals, where the fuck are you supposed to start in terms of, is that you then straight away? So the qualifications are going to teach you technique, they're going to teach you how to exercise, they're going to teach you the basics of to make a body composition change. What they don't teach you is how are you going to go from having this qualification to actually making an income from it and earning some money. I want to ask a couple of people and just put you on the spot what you perceive PT to be. Can I go with, I'm going to take my newcomer here.
I literally have no idea.
You have no idea what? No. Right, let me see. Jamal, pressure bro.
It's like putting someone through a training plan tailored to what they want to achieve.
Cool. Nathan, give me a little touch more on that.
Helping people what they want to achieve, helping their goals, being there as kind of a coach, maybe a friend as well. Bit of personality involved with it rather than just grilling them and training them.
That's exactly it.
Bit of like mental mind as well of the body.
Definitely. So for me, when I say what is PT, what is a personal trainer, I'm going to try and drill this into my team a lot. For me, personal training is a lot more than just a session that you are going to deliver. It's a service that we're providing, and we're here to help the public, and we're here to help people who are paying us. So if you think of what you're doing as a service, I think instantly you're going to think of it a little bit different. It's not a job, it's not a role that you have to do from A to B. From the second somebody messages you, or even the second that you walk into your place of work or the gym you're paying rent on, you are providing a service. So to provide a service, you've got to think about, we all pay for services ourselves. Now think of a service that you pay for. Your phone, everyone has a phone that we all have to pay for. Now, if when we buy a phone, if anything goes wrong from buying that phone to switching it on, we complain about it straight away. Why the fuck's my phone not working? We're on the phone to O2, we're kicking off because we've paid for a service and something may have hindered it. So I try and drill that into everyone and think about quality of service as a must. And from a personal trainer, why I've added appearance into this as well is because even just you walking around your gym floor, you are advertising the service that you're providing, and you have to appear correct to do so. But you also have to think about what is the purpose of your service and how are you going to present yourself? How do you appear to put to the public or to your potential clients? Now, the reason why I started to think like that was one of my first job interviews I went to say 5 years ago. I had a lot more size on me then, I was into my training a lot more, and we had to go for a recruitment day. On the recruitment day he asked me, how am I going to go from starting out of scratch to top tier PT? Now my answer to that was, I'm going to be on the gym floor, lifting weights, showcasing my body and showing what I can do. And he's gone, no. So I'm like, why, what do you mean? And I thought, everyone's got to look good, everyone's got to be in shape, and this is what's going to sell me. And he pulled out some stats, and he says, right, the reps register of exercise professionals, we should all know what that is. Reps register, 80% of people who undertake PT are women aged 18 to 34 looking to lose weight and tone up. He says, mate, those women see you slinging those weights about, they're not going to approach you, and you're missing your massive target market straight away. So then instantly, he said to me, exact words, I want you near the cardio machines, near the old women, flirting, getting them feeling good and getting some money in. So then I was like, my mind was blown. I'm instantly like, what the fuck? Telling me to go and like crack on in it essentially, and what you have to pull from that is the logic behind why you're saying it. And if we're here to make money, we need to be looking at the statistics and picking our niche of where we're going to be. So then from that moment I become body fat specialist, and that's all I wanted to focus on, because if 80% of the target market we're going to be using is there to lose weight and tone up, that's what I want to be focusing on. So if I think about back to quality of service, if I am presenting myself on a gym floor and advertising the service that I'm going to be selling, I need to be relatable to that service. So then what I become was Mr. Help within the gym. Instead of Mr. I'm slinging weights around, I was just scanning that gym floor at all times for anybody who had a fault, anyone who was doing something wrong, anyone who looked uncomfortable, anyone who even just walked in the gym and for a second that I'm literally like a hawk waiting to see who can I pounce on now, who needs me, who can I give something to. And that again for me was service. I need to offer a service within this gym where I am. And it conflicted because before, say 6 months prior, I was Mr. Gym Slinger and I was Mr. Arrogant Personal Trainer. I used to think about doing it for enjoyment more than doing it for the purpose of what I do it now. And I said to Jamal when I took him on, I said, I worry with younger people that they try and be a PT for the wrong reasons, or try and be a health professional for the wrong reasons, for it to be cool, for it to be the big I am and that kind of stuff. When in reality, if you look at yourself as the purpose of it, we're providing a service to take someone from point A to point B. And the reason they would ever want to make that change is because they're unhappy. They feel insecure, they feel anxious. There's a reason to why they need to get there, whether it be health, mental health, lifestyle. We have to take pride in the fact of that this person's coming to us for help. So that was a big change around for me, and maybe some of the guys can pull something from that. I don't know if girls think the same as that, but when I was trying out, that's how I used to think I was going to do well, and I got woken up by it. As soon as I realised, because I wanted to make money, at first it's hard, we've got to pay rent, we've got to be working hours, and I'm like, shit, lifting these weights ain't doing me no good no more. Not speaking to people and not interacting on the gym floor wasn't helping me. So as soon as I knew I had a niche market that I could approach and try and work from, that's what I spent my time doing. And I think if you've just passed your qualifications, the main thing you should be thinking about, or trying to think about, is helping as many people as you possibly can. That is the purpose of our role. So, providing that service and help. Let me see what we've got next. So, what's the purpose of PT? We've kind of just been through. So, if anyone's ever just qualified and you go into a gym paying rent, another example here of how I took a step up above my peers. When I first moved to Bolton, I paid rent at I was paying £600 a month, so I didn't have to wear their uniform. I wanted to be me, I wanted to be real life health and fitness. So I had to go into a gym and pay 600 quid and have 0 clients. At the time in this gym, there was no gym manager and there was no head PT. So the gym and the PTs were just kind of doing their own thing. Everyone had their own base. You was there when I was there as well, weren't you? Everybody had already their own clientele and they had the way they done things. So how I got myself that position was when I was training in the gym, I rang head office, no answer, sent an email to, and I explained, I said, I've been a member at your gym for the past couple of weeks and this is what I have seen. On the gym floor, there is no member interaction. There is no PTs watching people in case of injuries. There's no PTs out there coaching. There's no fitness instructors on the gym floor. Your gym is lacking the main vital part of what a gym is for. Get an email straight back, had a meeting. I got put in as head PT. The first meeting I had with my team, who had already been working there for a year, every one of them fucking hated me. I'm the new guy that's come in and I'm now being put to head PT and telling them, you've not done this, you've not done this, and you've not done this, for every one of them to instantly kick off at me about what I'd said and the reasons behind what they was doing, and I can't come in and say this and say that. The number one purpose to why I got the top spot was the care that I had for people. And if you are starting out, or if you're existing PTs, the number one thing that you can do to set yourself higher than the rest of them is give a shit. And if you genuinely give a shit about the purpose of your job, the people that are coming in, you're going to do things that most other people wouldn't do. Because when I was walking around the gym floor, if I see someone doing a bent over row and they're here, I've watched PTs sat down eating the food going, I'm not working, I ain't asked. And instantly to me, you're a knob, you're a fucking wanker, someone's about to break their back in your place of work, and as a health professional, as someone who has a heart and cares, it's our duty to correct that. No matter whether you're on a PT session, whether you're not working or whatever, that should be the main focus that you're trying to do while being on that gym floor. And that's what then separated me from the rest. So by walking around, picking out people and trying to help them, and rather than, there's a way that you've got to approach someone in that situation too, rather than you're doing that wrong, can I show you how to make that a little bit better for yourself? Can I show you how to just make that safer for you? And then people aren't going to take offence from it, and they're going to, it's an instant interaction that you can have with somebody. Lat pull down's a really good example because everybody on a lat pull down tends to come over, hunch the shoulders first, and it's one of the most common things you will see in a commercial gym. Chest out, and just by teaching someone the correct movement on any kind of exercise, whether they're paying you or not, if you can show them doing it wrong and then them doing it right, and then explain the difference and the benefit, did you feel that? That person's then mind blown, like, oh my god, no way, yeah, I can feel it, that was really good. What else do you know? And it leads on to future generation of clients and people coming in. It also then allows you to be the person in the gym when everyone is always watching, like here we set this out and we're on show with what we are doing to the people that study it. Everybody watching will then see you as the person that is going out of the way, doing the extra mile, taking the extra step, and I guarantee you will be the person that will get any referral. And that person who you've just helped will always say, do you know what, it was him over there who helped me, go and ask him. And while every other arrogant PT sat there lifting weights, eating the food, not bothered, and not thinking about the purpose of the service, what they are there to provide. So it's a shame really, because in commercial gyms that is all that you see really, is people not helping. I find myself walking around bugging people, correcting people. If you have just started out in a gym, people that are watching, be the best help that you can be to anybody on the gym floor at all times. Some of my PTs here sometimes probably get annoyed with me, because if I'm PTing someone and I see something that I think could be 1% better, I'm the busy bastard that runs over and says, just do this. And that's not because I'm trying to take anything away from a PT, it's because I'm trying to constantly provide A1 service, regardless of who, what, why, where or when, whether it's paying me or not. Think about providing quality for these people at all times, and then you can never go wrong. Like literally have a good heart with what you are doing, and that's going to set you above the rest from scratch. Right, next. Most people starting out as a PT don't have a clue what to do in terms of branding, packaging and marketing. So what the fuck does that even mean? If you get a client, what do you do? So I'm going to ask you because you're new. So I want a PT, I want to lose weight, I want to sign up to you. What's the first thing that you do?
Me?
Yeah.
Me.
I'm asking you for PT.
What kind of interest, what's your goals?
Goals, you're always going to need to know people's goals first. So if I want to lose weight and tone up.
Their eating habits.
So
Well, that comes on with your induction like stuff like
that's
that.
right, yeah.
To
So
engage them, you just like, you want to, I don't know.
imagine someone's approached you already. So when
Right.
someone approaches you and they say, I want PT, I want to be you to be my PT. The first step that you are realistically going to take, you're going to have a consultation. Which to do that and to seem professional, you're going to have, ideally, branded content, like our books that we have, which...
Well, I can't see like doing that.
Or when I started, I just scribbled on bits of paper. So I'd have a folder like this, and I would have my checklist of all my questions inside what I'm going to ask you, because you need to be prepared for any eventuality. So step one, if you've got a client in this gym, are you ready to have your client? Have you done everything needed that that person is going to need to provide the service from A to point B? So by doing that alone and thinking about what is it I'm going to do, so I'm going to have a consultation, I'm going to weigh them, I'm going to measure them, I'm going to have to write that down on something, I'm going to need a pen, are they going to need a pen? These kind of things you want to think out and play out of, so that no point throughout that point of service do you need to go, oh shit, 1 second, sorry, because I forgot this, because then instantly you are not 10 out of 10, you're now a 9 out of 10 because you forgot your pen, and you forgot your this, and you forgot your that. So you need to be prepared for step one. Mine was originally bits of paper, and I've always used my Tanita bioscales. So when we are weighing, measuring people, we use body fat calipers, we use scales, we use a tape measure. I found through experience most people don't like being pinched with calipers. Half the time they're sweaty after a session, you've got to strip them off, nobody likes that. Buy some bioscales, some decent ones. If you use the same set every time, they're accurate for your losses. They're not the best thing in the world. If it tells you 30% body fat, doesn't mean you are bang on 30%. But if you lose 2% on them, you've lost around 2%. So it's a good piece of measuring equipment to have. What you'll find if you're paying rent in most gyms, you don't be provided with any of this stuff. So make sure that you are always ready and prepared for everything that you need. And even our guys, how many times do we go and weigh and measure someone, have to run out and get a stats page, and have to run out and get a this, and then I'm sat there like, I do it this morning too. Had to run out, can I have a stats page please? Because I wasn't prepared. Luckily for me, that was one of my long-time clients, because I would have let myself down if it was someone who's brand new, because it was hindered. Even though it's a minor hindrance, it was still hindered from what it should have been from A to B. So always try and be prepared. So, consultation happens. You all will have a different forte on what you're going to do for PT. You're going to have a different niche. You have to be thinking about how are you going to get the right information out of your person. Now, this one is really, really important. If you're there's the emotional attachment to training is what you want to try and find out of everybody. Anyone who's actually going to go in their pocket and pay you money from what they have worked their ass off for to make a change, they are emotionally attached to that. And it's our job to try and find why what's going on up here to why they're going to pay me £400 for 6 weeks. If you ask them, they're not going to tell you. They're going to go, I just feel a bit fat. But why do you feel a bit fat? And it'll be, oh well, because my clothes don't fit me. And then you've got to dig deep and try and find an emotional connection. They call it the why theory. Well, where I learned they did, and it was just to ask why, and just keep digging deep into someone's purpose. And without going too much into that, what you will eventually find is, I've had one woman tell me she went Centre Parks with kids, she would not get in a photo with them because since having a baby, I am huge. I didn't go swimming, and when you find that, the woman started crying. And then I'm sat there and you start getting emotional yourself. This person's come to you with an actual real problem that's affecting her quality of life. It's affecting the holidays that she can have with the children, which is going to affect her memories, it's going to affect absolutely everything. It probably even affect the children. That mum did never do that with me. So then once you find that purpose about someone, some people don't have it, some people it's absolutely beautiful, they can fuck off, like we don't want to waste time with them. We want to find the people who need our help. And then that gives you a sense of pride within what you're doing. So I'd say technique number one is trying to find the emotional value to why someone is coming to you for that service. All of us need to do that and do that with our own people all the time. We all know personal things about our clients that we would never tell somebody, but that they confide in us. And by finding that purpose will give you power to help control their goals. That is the reason they're there. So if you find that emotional connection, that's the one thing that's going to keep you linked to that person and to make sure that they are constantly going to be able to progress towards that goal. That is going to be the number one. Forget I need to lose weight, forget I feel fat in my clothes and they don't fit. You're going to go and get some pictures at Centre Parks and you're going to be able to feel happy and proud of what you have achieved. Every time that person then might stop on a session, that is what you're going to use to keep them going. And that is going to be the fuel and the fire within their belly that you need to think about at all times. So now, I had 3 new girls in last night. I went home buzzing, all of them deeply emotionally connected to the training, didn't want me to film them, really anxious. I know I'm going to do well with those people because it matters to them. So also selecting what kind of clients you're going to pick and you're willing to work with will matter to you as well. And always try and find that emotional attachment to why they're training. So you're still in consultation period now. If you have managed to get that out of them and you have the powerful why or the emotional connection, you're already winning straight away. That person's going to be with you for a long time and you now have a friendship barrier with them that it takes you beyond a professional relationship. Personal trainers, it is personal to somebody and you need to understand that at all times that this person's confiding in you and trusting you, and it is your main responsibility at all times throughout. If someone signs up to a 6 weeks program, when they leave that gym, they are still your responsibility. It is still your responsibility to message them, to coach them, to remind them what they're doing. There was a story in This Morning, I remember saying it to you guys not long ago. It's a couple months ago, and it was about a personal trainer who went above and beyond for his client. The client was huge. The PT wasn't, when I looked at him, wasn't like Insta famous, wasn't anybody very well known. It's just his client had raved about him, and that's why he got put on a platform for the world to see what he did. He took extra steps and went into the local takeaways with a picture of his client. Please do not feed him. We are on a mission, and he's got this worst willpower ever. Please do not feed this man. He went on runs with him every morning, went to his house, get him up and take him on a run. He went above and beyond. Them things he didn't get paid for, he got paid for his session. But because he was emotionally attached to that person, he done things that most other PTs would not do. By doing that alone, you are instantly, like, you're a good person for a start, which feels good that you're going to go that extra mile, but then you're setting yourself above the rest. So many people are too happy to do a 6 out of 10 job because they get paid a 10 out of 10 wage. So they're going to stay at a 6 out of 10 level. Some people will have a self-pride in them that always want to go above and beyond. And in this industry, that's all I want to see. That's what I preach to these guys. That's what these all do that you'll see on the stories. That's what it's about, is going above and beyond for your people. Let me go on because I end up just waffling. I need to check my notes. So the next one was trust. When you find these emotional connections to people's training, when people are confiding in you, trust is the number one thing that you're going to have with your clients. If your clients can't trust you, if you're going to go and talk about whatever they said, it's going to mess everything up straight away. I'm not going to go too deep into trust, but understand that you're not just a personal trainer or a dance instructor or a yoga person or whatever it may be. You are a health professional. And in this industry, that is what you should think about being at all times as a health professional. And if you're being that, and if you're thinking about that, things like trust, emotional connection, and all these will just come along with it. So there's a lot to actually take in that the textbook never told me. I didn't think about any of that shit. I just thought about delivering a PT, getting someone's abs for a beefer. I want to look cool. It's, you know, that's not where the money's made. And like, it sounds contradicting really, because we're here to help, but at the same time I'm going money. We need fucking paying for what we're doing. I'm not Jesus Christ, like trying to just be God to everyone and make them all feel fucking great. I want paying. But if I want paying, I'm gonna have to be the best at what I do. And to do that, you have to give a shit. And if you find that you just care that little tiny bit more, that person will respect you forever. You'll be the person that they shout about, that they tell their friends. You'll be the point of call within your gym. And that is what we all should want to be. And I hope you guys see me doing that shit around here, being a busy bastard and involving myself in everybody's stuff, try to speak to everybody, try to make everybody feel comfortable. Because if anybody's in this building, they all have that emotional attachment. Anybody you see, even the fucking steadheads slinging weights in the gym, they're there because they feel insecure as fuck. That's why they're in the mirror doing all this, dancing around. That's why they're there. No one's in a gym if they're happy. So always have that in your mind. Even though there's the knobs, the bitchy girls, there's whatever, even they have their own insecurities. They just don't know how to deal with them as of yet. So you've just got to present yourself and appear correct at all times, that you are a health professional here to help people. It sounds silly that to some people. Like, and when I first went on a course that taught me this, I was like, fuck off. The course was called Get Into PT. I've been a PT for 3 years. I didn't want to hear it. But then when I started applying these techniques into the person I am, not even into my job, into my daily life of giving a shit more about people, it fucking worked, you know. And then if it starts to work, you're going to go hands down at that shit and do it for the best that you possibly can. So constantly try and think about that. Right, next we're going to go back onto what do you need from consultation. So always make sure you're prepared for every eventuality. We've just qualified, we've got our first client in. You need to have weighing equipment, because if this person's going to progress, you're going to have to weigh them, you're going to have to measure them, you're going to have to be able to measure their progress. Some people won't want weighing. Do a fitness test. How many burpees can you do in a minute? How many press-ups can you do? And show them improvement. You have to be able to show your people improvement, otherwise what the fuck are they paying you for? They're here to improve. So you've got to pick whatever your niche is going to be, what is the best measuring tool to do for that thing. In our game, body fat, measurements, that's us. In dance, it might be something else. In yoga, it might be a flexibility move, it might be the splits, it might be a target, but you have to be able to show people that you're going to be progressing them, and you have to physically be able to pass them that information. So make sure that you're prepared. Before I had a gym, after, in fact, they binned me off, told me that I couldn't work there anymore due to risks to their fucking business. I used to get about, I was training people in the park, and I'd have my bio scales in my backpack, and I used to weigh and measure people in the park. If it was pissing down, I'd be under a tree. Because every 2 weeks you need weighing and measuring, and I ain't gonna not do it because life's happened and I've not got a gym. Get the fuck on the scales, get your socks off in the park, I'm not bothered. And that's what I done. And I went above and beyond for my people to make sure they still had the service that I was there to provide for them, regardless of what life had done to me and them eventualities. So there's no excuse to say, I don't have this, because even if you're home PTing, which I've done as well, have your scales in your bag, have your measuring kit in your bag, come prepared for every eventuality that you may face. And that's the main focus of step one. Next, I've put on here, let's see, just go, trust, marketing and branding. So this comes into appearance as well. So we're starting out as a PT. I would hope that everybody watching and everybody here, even my guys, they all represent real life, but they are individual businesses that are self-employed. We've got Push Through Fitness here, we've got Brad Lawrence Personal Training, we've got, everyone has their own business that then represents my business and works from here. So you want to think about your branding. What are you going to call yourself? Why are you going to call yourself that? Is there, you know, and Zach Strength and Conditioning, his new logo that he's put is, have you got it on your screen table? Yeah, let's have a look. Sick. So Zach's logo is that. Can we see that? And why is that?
1/ for every year I was in the army.
There we go. So that's personal to Zach. That's 8 years at 1/ for every year he was in the army. Zach Mason Strength and Conditioning, that's his new branding, his new package of what he's going to do. That is personal to him. And you've got to think about what's going to be, and that's what I sell Zach as, the military man, that's what he is. Kim's the beauty queen. So when Kim's logo and shit appears, I expect to see a fucking big ass on it, you know, and just something that is going to be relevant to yourself and to what you're trying to push and what you're trying to do. Poll will be a poll move or something like that, but think about relevance is the main thing to think about. Why are you going to call yourself that? Can people relate to it? I look at that logo and I'm like, fuck, I like that, that's a bit sick, you know, it looks good, it's a manly logo, it looks good. So then that's what you want people to think about your branding. My old logo, the one that's on the sign downstairs, when I first signed up, it was off buyalogo.com or some shit, and it was like on page number 2, and then within the first year I've seen about 4 other people with the same logo. Why I liked it, it looked like a sunset with a family running over it. Now, for me, this is where my knowledge from come in, because when I started, my gym was going to be called the Lion's Den, and it was going to be full of steadheads, all slinging weights about growling, because I wanted to be dead cool. You know, when I realised that I ain't going to earn no money from the Lion's Den, these guys keep the money in the pocket and go and buy steroids and don't pay for PT. So I changed it to real life health and fitness because I wanted to help real people. I've got 3 children of my own, and it was hard for me to focus on my fitness goals, and without having to sacrifice some things, and without having to learn to diet or to home train or to make it fit for a real life family. So I thought, right, that's who I'm going to target. And the logo looks like a family running over a hill. I used to get comments all the fucking time. It looks like an old people's home, it looks like a pensioners club, it's so chilled, and I'm just like, for fuck's sake, and everything inside me as a person wanted to change it and have the Lions Den and be this. But I stood by it because you know what, fuck off. I've changed it now, it's slightly better, we made it black and we've got some weights on there and like, it looks a bit better, I like it black. But for the first 2 years I stood by it because it was what I wanted my business to represent. It did not represent me. People would look at that logo and expect to come into some old day, sat out with a cup of tea, and you come into me screaming at and telling them to fuck off. It didn't gel. Make sure your logo is going to gel and represent who you are, and that's instantly showing somebody something about you straight away. So that's your logo. Then also, when I started out, it was just paper, and then I got my booklets made up, which was my questionnaire for consultation. So if I've got a consultation, I want to be prepared for what I'm going to ask them. So, and I want to have set information to what I'm going to give them. So I pieced together a little booklet to where I would weigh and measure it on the front, and then inside it had every bit of information that I wanted to give them for them to read over that's going to help them towards their journey. So, first page is you can't out-train a bad diet. Second page is what the fuck are calories? You know, I get asked that all the time, what the fuck are calories? People might need to know that, so are you going to have something available and ready for your people for the direction you want to take them to? Eric's got a boxing book, which I'm going to get out in a sec. Lauren has a pole dancing box. Zach has his military books. Everybody's going to need information about what it is that you are doing, whether it's personal training, whether it's weightlifting, strength and conditioning. They're going to need some info. You know, they don't want them on the phone to you at all times. So prepare something that's going to be branded to you, that's going to represent you, so that when they're walking about the gym and they're going, oh, look what I've got, everyone likes to have something. They pass it to the friend, you're advertising yourself straight away, all the time, advertising with exactly, with the help that you're giving them. Also make the content inside it work showing someone. Now I've gone from these, we then went over to branded books, and then I've got one of Eric's boxing books over here, and then these are probably even the best ones that we've done. So in Eric's boxing we've added actual photos on them, and intro, Eric looking like a proper boxer over here. These are better than mine, I'm kind of pissed off I've done these for him. And we've given every bit of course information on there that anybody's going to need for Eric's program. It looks professional, it looks fucking good, like we made these, we done alright with them, didn't we? So that's, you say, do you get one of those? Do you fuck? You know, do you fuck? You have some sweaty boxing gloves. You've got to make sure that you want to try and make sure that you're standing out, that you're going to separate yourself from the rest. So it just shows how times have changed from notebook when you very first start out to I'm getting a printed book now, I've got a fucking laptop and Mr. Business on Office, to then these, to then this level, and it shows the journey. But for me having to go through that journey, I'm able to share it with you, and if you're going to start a business, come prepared, make sure that you're going to separate you from the rest. How did I do the books? So I took my scribbles on a piece of paper like this into a print company, Minuteman Press, and just passed it in and said, can you please put all of that into a book for me? And they're like, what? I was like, I just need all of this information here, my little scribbles, my logo, my everything, can you please make a book? That's what they fucking do, right? So then they go, all right, we're going to charge you design and whatever it may be. Then give me some options. I went back a week later, we had 5 different options of different books. This one's got this cover, this one's got that cover. These ones now are Eric's, we've got 500, did we? Or 100? We've got 100, £1.20 each they cost. So 120 quid for 100 books. And then £60 they had to pay for passing the mismatched pictures and shit. And 60 quid for design, 120 quid for 100 of those books. 120 quid to make yourself stand the fuck out from the rest, right? So as soon as, say you're walking around your gym and you're the new person in that gym and you're trying to find clients and you have your PT book and you have your PT information and you have your own scales and you've got stuff that the other people don't have within there, which they should have anyway, you instantly stand out above the rest. Now, I've asked all of my team to do something individually to represent themselves in their own way. Az has just done his hip step boot camp, which is going to be his. Me and Brad are working on a bodybuilding program, booty building for women. Zach's got military, Eric does his boxing, Kim does online retreats. We're all finding our own niche into what's going to separate us from each other and the rest. So try and think about your niche, you guys as well. What are what direction are you going to be going in? What kind of content are you going to need to be pushing yourself in that direction? So that's your marketing and branding of the products that you're going to be providing. Next, we've got appearance. Right, so this comes hand in hand with this now, with your products. You're walking around the gym. I'm going to use an example, but I'm going to change the people's names because the local and they'll know me. So when I first moved around, I used to train at and I was not qualified as a PT then, but I was interested, so I used to watch the PTs at all times. This is where appearance comes into it, as long with the fundamentals. So appearance for me, I'd look around the gym and think, who's taking PT? What do the PTs look like? There was one PT in, yeah, he didn't look great, right? Bit of a belly. It sounds really bad this, but he had a skin condition, he had psoriasis, right? And he didn't treat it right, because I've had fucking psoriasis, and you put your creams on it, and it will go away. I've got bad skin, sensitive skin. This guy's walking around like this. You're like, you alright over there? He's flecking his skin on me while I'm on the bench press, and I'm wanting to smash his head and like, move away with your nasty skin. So I used to see him with a couple of clients though, and they'd be like, how the fuck can anyone go near him? He's got a belly and he's flecking skin all over you, like, I don't understand it, like. But he was the least busiest trainer in there. And then there was, I can't even name him, I wanted to name him. So that was the bottom of the team, and then there was the pinnacle of the team who I see. And I used to love watching this person, PT, and he taught me a lot. And probably one of the main reasons why I am the way that I am. Now this person would, let me see, Luke, can I get you up here for me please? And can you just go into some squats, bodyweight squats here for me? What separated him from the rest was, he'd be here, and he'd be like, do it wrong for me. There we go. So you're leaning over, chest up, chest up, chest up, and then bend those knees, and he'd be, fucking hell, not that though, but what he would be doing is walking around, assessing, going to the squat hold for me. And he'd be here, and he'd be like, right, pull this out, chest up, back there, and you're doing this because, and he was constantly in and around his person, and he was constantly explaining, that'll do nice for me. He was constantly explaining everything what he was doing. So I'd find myself training next to him, like listening, what's going on here? And I try to pick up as much of his information as I possibly could. When I was looking around that gym, nobody else had that what he had. And to me, I used to say, I want to be him. That is who I want to be like. And I watch the other guy like this. And I actually don't want to be, and that's who I want to be. And now you have to think to yourselves, how are you going to separate yourself from the rest of the people in there? Or more so, how are you going to make sure that your person is going to be safe at all times? Because if someone is doing this, and you've got a shit way with words, you're going to have to touch them. You're going to have to get in and get contact with that person. But you're going to have to be confident enough to do so. You're going to have to understand how to approach somebody to do that and explain that I'm just going to put a bit of pressure on your lower back, I'm just going to touch you up here, and I don't ever just start walking and grabbing people, but explain to them what it is that you're going to do. And people are paying for technical coaching. That is your job, to fucking bend them and correct them into place. And you'll get, some people agree, some people don't agree, I don't really care. I used to get in, there was a heavy Muslim community. don't, oh, you can't touch me, no, fuck off. I am not, that's not what I'm trying to do. I don't want to fucking touch you, but I'm fucking touching you, or fuck off with somebody else, because I can't have you breaking your back and you're not listening to me. So then eventually they start coming in without the hijab on and they're not bothered no more, and they're like, yeah, whatever, here's a hug, Tyler, here's a Korean. No one cares anymore, because you've built that comfort barrier up with that person. And that is just through care, that's through care. So don't worry about being a little bit more involved, and constantly think about, it's a bit of a contradiction again, I do that to help the person, but I also do that to showcase to everybody else, I know what the fuck I'm doing. That is what you've got to think about. This is your appearance in the gym. So while we're PTing over there and everybody's sat watching you again, are you just stood there going 1, 2 rep count straight in your back, or are you involved? Are you coaching them? Are you going the extra mile? Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing, or are you being a 6 out of 10? And that will separate you from the rest. And that's appearance is, I'm not talking about what you wear, I'm talking about how you appear to people. How do you want to be perceived to people? The next bit goes on to what you wear. So someone comes in with some feelers flapping up the holes all over them. Hey mate, the trainers are talking to you. I don't want to speak to you. Life might be tough. I come from the ghetto myself, but if your toes are hanging out your trainers, they ain't going to talk to you. So you've got to come correct, and you'll be surprised when I used to see this guy like this. He's like this with his fucking Theodora top on with holes in it, and I'm like, for fuck's sake, I just wanted to give him a bath, some E45 and some new clothes. If I'd done that, he would have had more clients. But he was one of them people that didn't give a damn about his self-appearance, And do you know what's like though? This guy cared as well. He really did, and I think that's why he had the level of clients that he did. Because I used to think, how the fuck can anyone be near him or even breathe his air? You're breathing dead skin in if you breathe near him. But his heart is what got him that first step. But in the same sense, people want to, you've got to look good. Like, that's the main part of it. I say that, but then I've learned more of people who don't look as good as what I would have perceived. But you've got to be presentable, you've got to be clean, you've got to make sure your breath don't stink, you've got to check these things, right? I get so paranoid at the end of the day doing a weigh and measure, because I've been sweating all day. So if I've got to measure you now, put my arms around you, I'm scared to death. I'm like, I'm really, really sorry, but I've been sweating all day. And I'm like, then I'm thinking, shit, I've had 16 coffees today, I'm holding my hand. And I'm like, I'm nervous as fuck, because I'm trying to measure someone, because I smell and I don't want them to feel uncomfortable. I don't want them to think, hey, this guy's nasty, and be like, one of them. So, but some people don't give a damn. And you'll be in the gym and some PT will walk past you and it's like the sickest African veal you've ever smelled in your life, and you're just like, your clients have got to breathe that shit in all day. So appearance is massively important if you're going to be, it's all funny, isn't it? But it is important if you're going to be gaining clients. You want to be perceived in the correct way. You know what it is though, you see them in the corner of the gym, that corner smells bad, man. Fucking hell. I'm half that, I'm allowed to say it. We smack more, man, and we fucking smell. We've got a new product coming out as well soon, for anyone who has the same problems as me. I'm making a dry body shampoo that we'll just say that for now, dry body shampoo for PT, so you don't fucking stink at the end of the day. Oh, for thingies, for what's his name? I should go and drop him on WD-40. Right, so appearance. I have tattooed on me, you guys are probably sick of hearing this, it was an eye, and it did say, they are always watching you. That's because in my old life that mattered, in what I'm doing now, in everything in life, people are watching you. People are always ready to pull you down, ready to criticise you, ready to shit on you. Right? No one's happy for anybody these days in the society that we live in. So as much as being a health professional and caring about your person, also care about yourself. Care about your career, how people are going to think of you, how people are going to think of you. Because if you start worrying about anyone else's perception of you, it's going to hinder where you're moving forward. So constantly present yourself in the correct way to preserve your career. If you start trying to be Mr. Cool, rep counting like this because you still chatting shit to the boys, that person's going to sign off and she's going to go and train with him over there who's doing all of this. And that is a fucking fact of the matter. So in this industry, it can be challenging, it can be bitchy with the boys, it can be a little bit of clashing, and you can try and be perceived in a set way. I put a video on TikTok the other day. It was like the gayest video you've ever seen. And I was like, no, the pink booty bands. And I'm like, ooh, doing this little dance, right? Which it felt weird even moving like that. But I thought, do you know what? It's a new platform for me to get myself out and to be seen on. But it was funny. And the bottom line is, I don't give a fuck what I look like to anybody or what they might want to say about me, because my target market are 18 to 34-year-old girls looking to lose weight and tone up. They liked it. I got a phone call off one of my mates like, Ras, bro, that was the gayest shit I've seen. It's like, listen, 54,000 followers, does your opinion pay my bills? No. Do you know what I mean? Fuck off. So then I've done another one, and another one, and another one. Because I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me. I care about my family, I care about the people who I care for, and I care about my career. And if that's going to progress my career by behaving in a set manner, I won't be a gangster at night time. You know, I'll go and see you and do some gangster shit from 10 to 11, but from 9 till 5, I will be the fucking whatever I need to be successful. You shoot off. No worries, what the nice one coming on, yeah? So think about how you appear. Don't think about your peers. Don't think about what people are going to think about you. Don't think about not putting that post on or not wearing this outfit because somebody might think this. Think about what's going to help you the best and what's going to help your person. And that's how you should want to appear. I've got now a persona online of who people think that I am. I'm this angry, shouting, loud, aggressive guy that everyone's scared of. That's just what people want to see. So I will beat the shit out of that stuff. Sometimes I've got a really good piece of content and I just want to put it out normally. No one fucking watches it because I don't start it with you fucking slags or something like this. So I now have to be a knobhead to gain attention because that's my persona. That's who I have become. So that's what I'm going to own the shit out of now and make sure that I triple down on what has proven good for me rather than focusing on someone's opinion or my own self-doubts as well, because I sometimes put something on and think, why the fuck have you done that, Tyler? Then there's 50 comments on it, I'm like, you know what, fuck it, because I put it there for a purpose and we let society pressure us into thinking things. Anyway, starting muffling. Appearance, okay? So you want to appear correct at all times. For people out there that was in the position I was in and didn't have a pot to fucking piss in, and you have got holes in your trainers, there's places out there that can help you. You can go to second-hand shelters, you can go to places to find acceptable looking clothing. You can, there was a time when I didn't even have a fucking home and where I was staying was on a bed settee on a floor. There was no water, no electric, no nothing. Electric was wired there. There was no hot water. I used to get to the gym in the morning and have a shower before anybody got there. I'd get there with a cleaner. 6 in the morning, have a shower, people come, I'm sat there smiling, ready. They don't know I've slept in the fucking bin. You know, it doesn't matter because I made sure I'd done what I needed to do to appear correct. You know, and that was best, guys. That was a couple of years ago while I was saving up for this place, right? I didn't fucking 30 grand in the bank sleeping on the floor because I will not spend that money and not get to where I wanted to be. So I used to have to go above and beyond to appear correct, otherwise I would have stunk even more. Like imagine that, no shower, then going back day after day. So sometimes you might have to go above and beyond to appear correct, but appearance is everything, and I do feel for those people who haven't got a pretty lifestyle and haven't got a mum and dad that can buy them everything that they need, and you will have to start from scratch. But you can go and get some E45 and some new trainers for fuck all. So there's no excuse to be walking around like this, right? So make sure that you appear correct, make sure that you have your step 1, 2 and 3 correct, and make sure that you're prepared for any eventuality. Let me check what time it is. We'll just waffle on, don't I? What have we got? 10 minutes, not bad. So, this wasn't going to be anything too technical today. It was appearance and the fundamentals of PT. So to me it is, the fundamentals is care for your person. Providing a service, right? Think of it as providing a service. And from providing a service is the first message you get, the response rate. You leave them 48 hours, you've got a shit service. The way you answer, your tone of voice. Now I had to learn a lot about this because sometimes I'll say something with the best intentions. I do it to these guys and see the faces look at me like, you just said that. Because I'll say something without thinking about how I'm delivering what I'm saying. Some people hear your tone and not the information, what you're giving them. So the way you message back in the manner you want to be perceived. I message back as me, because that's who I am. And if I would never message someone, hey there, some professional bullshit, because that's not how I am perceived. But if you've got to message them back to what's going to be relatable to you. Quality of service is from the message until they leave you and you do a post saying how amazing they've done. It's if they have a fucking crumbling meltdown midway through their program, even if their fucking car breaks down and they've got nobody else but you and you've become that person, go above and beyond for your people. care for your people. And for that 6 weeks while they're on that program, if you take their goals, their happiness, and put that in more important than your own, that person will vouch for you forever. That will show to not only the person you're with, but to everybody watching you, because believe me, everybody is watching you. And whether you want to do it or not, that shit will get you paid. And that is ultimately why we do it. Like, I am not Jesus Christ. I don't walk around helping all these people because I'm God. I do it because I want paying, and I want as much money as I possibly can. So I've got to be the best that I possibly can. And these things are what are proven right to me. Giving a shit, being prepared, genuine passion and care for getting someone from A to B. When you start to get those, the thank yous, the rewards, the pictures, the presents, the gifts, and you hear of people, even some messages have had me in tears. Since doing the online, there was one email that I got, and it was just, I remember, I think I showed you guys, and it was of a woman who said she was thinking about taking her own life. She was anxious, she wouldn't leave the house. Marriage breakdown, ended up moving back home with her mum. I used to speak to her mum. Her mum was going through fucking cancer at the time, and like her mum ended up getting the all clear. The other girl ended up, she was on the beauty plan, and said like it turned her life around. The thank you message I got from that ripped my heart out, and it's like it just shows you that it is so much more than looking cool or having money, that you are a health professional that people are putting trust into, and it is a privilege. If somebody comes up to you and asks you for a 12-week program, a 6 weeks program, they're trusting you, not with their body, they're trusting you with their life, they're trusting you with their kids' life, their family's life, their fucking future, and it should be of utmost importance to you to get them feeling good again. Knowing that woman, when she went to Centre Parks the next time and took her photo, that wasn't just a picture for her, that was a life-changing moment for her that I was a part of. So then she will feel that for the rest of her life. She will tell that to her friends, she'll tell that to her kids, and the things I taught her, she could pass on. So she could have taught that to somebody else now that's now made that change. I done that. I fucking done it, and that makes me hold my head high. Regardless of any fuck-ups I've ever done, regardless of anything bad, when you're putting out positivity into the world and caring, you don't know where that can lead and the effect that that can have on people's lives. And I honestly believe if you put that at the front of anything that you do within our health profession, you are going to be successful. And you can't really mess it up if you care. Like, a lot of people ask, what this, what that. If you give a shit, you will find a way. You will ask someone, you will make sure that you know what you're doing for that person. So always try and care more than anything that you're ever going to do. And let me see what I have lastly. Where do we start on health professionals? So I've already gone with the starting, and I've waffled on enough about health professionals. I think we'll close it off there for today and ask some questions, see if anyone's got any questions for me. So yeah, structure, marketing, appearance, and giving a shit. Some of those things I never got mentioned to on the course. I've done a 2-year CYQ, and then I've done additional learning since. Nobody taught me that shit. That's experience that I've gained through training over the past 5 years. And I hope you can take some value from that as well, and it hasn't bored you too much. But if you think about those points, more than technical blah blah over there, you're going to be successful. Does anybody have any questions for me?
For James, who was couldn't make it today. How do you approach people on the gym floor without coming across as a salesman? Because it's just going into marketing.
That's a good one, that. So how do you approach people? Even approaching people in general is a very scary thing. When you're on a gym floor, what they done on one of their interviews was you had to get a touch. So it was approaching people and being able to go, oh, how are you doing, mate, you alright, and get a touch without them making it like that. And it was a fucking challenge to do that. And if you're able to do that, you've got something that most people don't. So how I would do it is I'm looking for the person who's doing something wrong. If you're just someone's training and they're doing something, but you look at someone and think they look good and I want them as a client, if they know what they're doing, don't approach someone and fucking interrupt them while they're doing something. But if you see someone doing something incorrect, if you see someone doing something not technically perfect, if you see someone looking nervous, if you see someone been on the treadmill every day you've ever seen them and you feel you don't know what else to do, approach that person. So I'd say that's the easiest thing to do, is approach someone who's doing something incorrect. I used to get told of my old man, you don't do it the way that I say. He used to do it in a lot queerer way and pussyfoot about it. And he used to, even in the class, he would say to me, don't do what Tyler does unless you're Tyler, and do it this way. So what he'd do is go and start doing some press-ups next to them and be like, hey mate, okay chat. And I'm like, that's not me. You know, I'm just going to walk straight over to that person and be like, excuse, once they finish the set, not while the mid-set, let them finish, let them be having a little rest, and just be like, how you doing, mate? You all right? Can I just show you a little something to make that better for you? There's been a million times people have looked at me and gone, no. I'm like, all right, then bring you back. You know, but then there's been a lot of times people go, oh yeah, of course, can I? I'm like, yeah, explain, why is it that you're here? Get to know that person, then instant interaction and a quality interaction, and I guarantee you 10 people just seen you do that interaction and now rate you a lot more. So that's a good one to look for. Sometimes everyone might be doing something right and there's no reason to. We used to have to do cleaning, didn't we, bastards? So 16 hours a fucking week working for them. And I used to be cleaning on my shift. That's when I got all my clients. So see 10 girls on the treadmills. I'm going to be the guy that moves the treadmills back, and I'm at the front of them. Like, hey girls, how are we doing? And I'm wiping the front of the treadmill screens. I'm not at the back of them or the side of them. I'm literally in front of them. I've just got to clean this there. What is it you're here for? And she's like, oh yeah, you know, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm like, oh, do you not? Fuck that, let's go, I've got 5 minutes. And then I'm like, I show them a little labs routine. Why are you here? What is it you're trying to do? You find out that, oh yeah, I'm a bit skinny and I can't afford PT, but I'm completely clueless and I'm fat as fuck, so what do we do? And then it leads on from that. So you've got to find methods of how you can approach people without seeming salesperson. And also, if you care, you're not selling. So I would tell someone that tip. I don't ever mention PT. I will never mention my price list or I'm a PT or this is what I offer. This is who I am. I'm here to help. See you later.
Well, then someone with money will see you do that and then they'll want PT.
100%. Or even that person will then speak about you. What happened to me, every gym I've ever worked in, he's so nice, he's the one who helps, he's the one who cares. That's who you want to be. You want to be the point of call. But approaching people is the scariest, most pressurable thing in a commercial gym environment. It's off-putting. Don't approach someone in the wrong way. Like, be so careful to how you approach someone, because people will see you get pied as well. So you think you're dead good and you go bouncing over and someone just goes, fuck off. You then instantly get, did you see that then? And everyone's laughing at you. So you've got to think about appearance at all times in terms of that too. Do you reckon that'll help?
For James, yeah, that's for James.
All right, cool. James, that one's for you. Don't approach people in the wrong way. Anything else?
Obviously, I'm at a local leisure centre. I've been a member, you know, I'm never into going on 0 hours contract. How do you come across then from being a friend to then being...
So now a professional. Difficult transition to have that. Now for me, I struggled in that department. I used to live in Manchester, everybody knew me. I moved away. No one knew who the fuck I was in Bolton. So I come around here and created who I wanted to be. It's hard to change the opinion that somebody will already have on you, and without sounding like a bit of a dick and a bit of a downer, a lot of people who we already know won't believe in you. Like, my friends didn't believe in me. Fucking months. Like, get Gabby, don't spend all that money on a big gym. Like, people will think it's only you. It's only you. It's only you. Exactly. I don't want to say to. I don't know, but you know, there's a couple of options what I would think about doing in there, and you either go through the route of showing them how much you've learned and progressing in your own training within there and trying to help people. Now that's always going to set you off as good stead to show that she's reliable, consistent, and she's there putting the hours in. Sometimes turning up means more than anything. Or go to a new gym with some branded equipment, get your little booklet, go and sign up at a different leisure centre or another budget gym and walk in there and become who you want to become. So that way you get your new kit, you get your new book, you walk in and you start doing something really fucking cool. The first impression someone has of you is, oh, who the fuck's this? You're no longer the girl who was training, you are now a health professional who people will approach. So sometimes you've got to blag your way through life and pretend that you are something that you aren't. Because if you start at a new gym with a backpack with your scales on, your book and your this and your that, you can become who you want to become, and that's how they will know you.
So, I'm engaging a lot of the mums, you know, because I've been a mum and I've been using all the pregnancy cart and stuff like that, so that was me and my friends. And
it's a difficult barrier to go over, so there's a couple of options that could hopefully help you there and to trying to be perceived in the right way, I reckon. Has anybody got anything else for me?
Would you recommend working for the gym or working for yourself when you're starting off?
that's an hard one for me.
It is a difficult one again. So sometimes they offered me and Eric 16 hours, I had to work for them, then I could do whatever I wanted on the gym floor. For those 16 hours we didn't get paid, so we was on unpaid work, which was potentially 120 quid a week at minimum wage. It's a difficult one. When I worked at, which then I had a basic wage for my fitness instructor hours, so I would do 16 hours fitness instructor, not allowed to PT, I'm tidying around the gym, but I'm guaranteed 100 quid a week, and then I would build my clientele while I'm cleaning the gym and while I'm doing those 16 hours because I've got a guaranteed wage. It took me probably 2 or 3 years to have the confidence to believe in myself enough that I could do it myself, and I always wanted to rely on having a little bit of a wage there because it's scary to be self-sufficient, especially if you have a family as well. So you've got to weigh up the best options that are going to suit your needs right now, and try and progress on from that. I'd say if you're going to get employed by a gym that can give you a wage, it's a good place to start because you're in an environment where you can learn and you're going to be picking stuff up while actually having some money, rather than the opposite of paying some money or paying time and not actually knowing where that's going to lead you to. So think about personal circumstances. Are you in a position where you have some savings that you can live off while you're trying to build yourself up, or do you need to earn X amount to be able to progress? You've got to look at what suits you personally. It is a difficult one. I would like to say as well though, always, even if you are going to work for a gym, still have your own branding and separate yourself. So when I worked, I still had my real life fitness books that I would give to my clients, and I would still brand myself and put my Instagram name and who I wanted to be perceived of others as what I would lead on to. So you can always start off in a commercial establishment, set your branding up and then move forward from it. Does that help you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Feels weird taking questions. I feel like an actual professional.
I did that, but I had to put myself with it because I've got children. So then I had to offer work experience, which I did it for 3 weeks before Christmas, and then I just took me on. So that's
Decent. Last thing I'm going to say is, this will help you guys as well. When I very first started, I used to train 90% of my clients for free. So when I first started, I was the new person, no one knew who I was. I would get around cleaning, doing my little thing, chatting away to everybody, and then I'd say to that person who had just got off the treadmill, I'll tell you what, if you're here every Wednesday at 10 o'clock, I'll do you a session, but do not tell anybody that you're not paying me. And that was my option to then showcase my work. So I had an agreement with this girl, she's here every Wednesday. Before anyone knew it, I'm doing 20 sessions a week. I didn't have a fucking penny, but everyone's going, wow, how is he so busy? He's fucking good, isn't he? She's looking good, she's looking good, she's looking good. Next minute, they're all knocking on the door to pay me. All my freebies got kicked away, or then paid me. And I built an image of how I wanted to appear. I wanted to appear busy, I wanted to appear cool, I wanted to be that. So I've done what I needed to do to make myself appear how I wanted to. So that's always an option for us all, even in here. You got anyone who looks good, who's got a massive following, who's going to do you really good, well bring them in, do a fire fucking video with them, and I guarantee you that's going to get you more reach than not doing it or sitting in the gym and trying a different thing as well. So sometimes the things you do for free will pay you far more than the things you get paid for. Literally, the caring, the out of hours stuff, the little messages you can drop to your people, that's the stuff that's going to bring you the money in. This stuff is the basics really, and I think that's what separates real life from the reps, is that we give a shit and we do the extra mile, we get the care, we get the time, and we get all that attention from us too. I think I've had enough. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is this will be uploaded onto YouTube. I'm going to do it as a series every single Friday. Team, optional for you guys, thank you so much for coming. It means a lot to me that people are going to come here and listen. Thank you for you to turn up as well. I never know if anybody's going to turn up. It still feels weird people would want to learn from me, but there's a lot of information, and I'm going to be putting it on YouTube every week. So we're going to start from the basic fundamentals. This week I'll post what next Friday's topic's going to be. So I'll post a topic every single week. If it's relevant to what you want to learn, get down. If it's not, just watch the YouTube video, whatever. I'm not fussed, you don't have to be here. But, and as well, if you want any topics, you guys want any topics, let me know and I'll try and get that covered. But it's going to be forever, and we're going to structure it to make sure that everyone of you know everything that I know, and eventually I'll then know everything that you know, and we can learn from each other. But thank you for listening to me, people.